the Limpopo province for us. Hitekani, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Now, let's talk about the revised notices that the workers received today.
Good afternoon. Well, before we go into the revised notice, let me just give you a picture of what has been taken into consideration in the entire package. The curator looked at the number of days in terms of leave days that were left for the individual employees, and he of course compensated each individual according to those days. They also looked at the notice of termination and they were compensated for that as well. The other thing that was compensated was of course the retrenchment, the severance pay, which is calculated as rather 1 week per year of service. So if someone served the company for 10 years, they were paid for 10 weeks per year of that service. So those are some of the things that have been taken into consideration. But the revised package includes the 13th check, which the employees were not given, or they were not, there was no agreement in the past years to give them a 13th check. So this is just in a way somewhat of a bonus on top of the amount that they were given. But I must tell you, we spoke to a couple of the employees and a lot of them are unhappy with even the revised payment. They say it's not at all enough because some of them of course still have those loans, those car loans, those home loans that they were encouraged, according to them, to take out of the bank, knowing that they are permanent stuff and they would be able to repay those financial obligations. But now, because of the prospects of unemployment, they say it's unfair to still expect them to fit the bill, and they want those debts to be completely removed. Of course, we know that the union representing the workers, which is the majority union, SABC, is in consultations with the curator to be able to see if they can in part or fully remove those loans from the responsibilities of those workers. So a majority of the workers still unhappy. They want more compensation given the fact that they were hoping to work, given the fact that they have so many responsibilities ahead of them.
Yeah. Besides being unhappy about the retrenchment packages, Hitekani, they are not happy about this whole situation that they're even saying that, they were used as a scapegoat for other people's sins.
Certainly. I mean, again, speaking to the workers, they were telling us really heart-wrenching stories that I feel were overlooked. The story of the workers hasn't really come out in the way that the other stories, for example, the implicated people or the shareholders or the depositors came out. The story of the workers is that they were the one who defended the bank when there were rumors of illegal activities happening. They were the ones serving over 400 depositors and clients a day. These are angry clients. These are, of course, rightly so difficult clients because they want their money. Most of them wouldn't understand if they when the workers told them they could only give them 1,000 rand. A lot of them were shouted at and cursed at and threatened. We spoke to a worker who said on some days they had to leave from the back door, and that is just a picture of how devastating their lives were. I mean, these are people who you are part of in the community who are threatening your life. And of course, the workers say that at no point did the executives come down from Johannesburg and speak to them and calm their spirits or even explain what was going on. The only shocking thing they got was retrenchment letters on Friday.
Yeah. Hitekani, you've been in the province for a few days now. What sense are you getting from, the people on the ground, but most importantly, those who are, are allegedly involved in this VBS saga? We heard earlier today what the EFF had to say during their press conference. We heard what the ANC had to say regarding their members who are allegedly involved in the VBS looting as well. But talk to us about the sense that you're getting, from the ground as you've been there for a few days now.
Well, the implicated people are staying away from the limelight, that's clear. We understand that some of them were seen here quite often before the scandal broke, but we haven't seen any of them. We haven't been able to speak to any of them, and we believe that maybe they might have been warned by the legal representatives to stay away from the media and the limelight. But speaking to community members here, first and foremost, talking about the king, Tony Limpopo Ramaburana, saying that they are unhappy that he wasn't able to shield them. First of all, shield the workers from losing their jobs, and secondly, shield the depositors from losing what they call a crown jewel, which is VBS, which we know that was built from the ground up. The community here really came together, held hands, and built the bank from the ground up, and they feel that first of all, the king was supposed to have seen or had the foresight to protect them and protect the bank, because that's rightly what a king should be expected to do. But also, in terms of the executives, people here are quite disappointed in them, and the fact that they haven't been seen anyway, or came out to apologize, or at the least came out to come to bring an explanation of what actually happened to the bank. But in terms of speaking to them, we haven't had the chance, and it doesn't seem like we're going to be given the chance anytime soon.
Certainly. Thank you so much. Let's leave it at that. Our reporter there, Hitekani Magwedze, live from the Limpopo province, of course, monitoring the VBS saga for us. And do stay tuned to the SABC News channel for more on that particular